Here we are. Once again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Mate, I feel like there's definitely something that we've missed. I like work. I just hate my boss. Yeah, what a cup. I might get that in the office.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh, we haven't had this from this room before. Maybe it's never stayed too long in that room. Oh! Yes! Bucket's back!
Stanley
With a
picked up the bucket
sticker!
and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone.
Yes!
Not with the bucket around.
There was a rope here before. I want to get into that room. How do we get round there? There must be a way. Waiting input. That ladder's still there. No new content.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the
Oh yeah,
door
because
on
of the
his left.
meeting room. Yeah. Oh. I've got a few already, look. Oh, we got most of them. A large room, lots of boxes. Some were both red and blue. That's the last two to get, yeah? There will be a reward. Yes! Rewards! Figlies. Follow clues provided by employee 416. 416.
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and
Yes,
I'm going to
more
snap it on as well because
stickers!
I think it's appropriate. You
Yes,
see,
bucket!
I feel
It's got
that
its
it
own
works
sticker!
because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket.
Yes,
There
bucket.
really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
That's great. I'm glad we came back in the broom closet. Extra stickers. Right.
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
I'd already left, mate. I'd already left the room. You was a bit delayed there with your response. Right. No. Can we go back? No, we can't go back. I'm not going downstairs again.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
There's got to be another way we haven't been. Oh, it's open. Let's let me open it this time. What the fuck? Business strategy. Gun to a panda's head. I'm going to go down. Because last time I was in this, I went up and it went nowhere. I've done this for ages until I pressed the button and it was still at the office. So I'm guessing it's going to do the same thing even though I'm pressing down. Yeah. Mate, we've got to get a reaction out of the narrator somehow from this. He hasn't said anything. Come on, talk to me. Talk to me, Charlie. Where are ya? Give me some advice about this lift. Help me. That's Stanley in the background. It's like humming along to the music. Come on, say something, do something. Fuck yeah. It's just literally a vibrating room that doesn't go anywhere. I am the most expensive boss. Yes! You can't afford this. Can I go back? What's this here? Anything different in the bathroom? Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes, if the boss suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose. Yeah. Yeah. Why does that message change every time as well? Who's changing the message?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Yes!
Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him?
It was.
Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
We've got no time to mess about me in this bucket. We've got new things to find. There's got to be something new for us. Around this corner. Down this elevator. Got to be. Something new for Stanley.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Oh yeah, last time we went down the escape, didn't we? Did we? No, we didn't. I haven't been this far with the bucket though. Huh?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
I think you can fall down there. I don't want to do that.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock.
Wow.
Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently.
And you know what I
reassuring
haven't
it
done
that
actually since the
everything
very
would be
first
fine.
try is come back in here and press no on the button again. So obviously when you do the same thing
Was
over
the bucket
again,
under the
something
mind
different
control
happens.
facility's
And I've got a
influence
bucket
as
this
well?
time. No one can
Had the
stop me.
bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do, or
Why is
not
that
want to
monitor all
do in the
blued out?
first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Why has that one got a chart on it? 028. Pirate at the top there, at the top of 465. Pirate. Oh. Is it actually a pirate though? No, it just looks like my office.
No! He screamed into the
No!
bucket. He couldn't accept it.
No one
His
can
own
stop me
life
in this
someone
bucket.
else's
Not even
control.
that pirate
Never!
there.
He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world.
Yes.
At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Right, so I've gone down an elevator just to walk along a few platforms and go back up an
But
elevator.
here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over
There's a button
another
up there.
human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the Bucket, up against the world.
There's a door
They
here.
high-fived in a really cool way, and the Bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Yes, sassy Bucket. Got to be a way. We're pressing
When
on.
at last they came to the source
Me
of
and the
room's
Bucket are going to
power,
take over.
Stanley and the Bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
No. Me and the Bucket are going to take over the world!
But at the last second, the Bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the Bucket's plan all along?
Yes!
To take over the machine and claim the power for itself?
Yes, Bucket!
How could the Bucket have betrayed him like this?
No, it's a
Stanley
plan.
was
It's a team
prepared to throw
plan.
the Bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen.
Yes!
Birds. Silly birds.
They're seagulls.
The control buttons became active again.
Ooh, that looks like a hawk, and that looks like a dove. Let's go for the hawk. Oh, parrot. What about the dove?
Stanley flipped through one video
Oh no,
of silly birds
seagull.
after another.
Yeah, parrot.
and
It's
then it
much more
dawned on him,
tropical.
This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world.
Well,
The
why have we
mind
only got two
control
options
were
of
only a
birds?
facade to disguise its true intentions.
Right.
Had the Bucket known this all along?
Yeah, of course. The
Stanley
Bucket knows
marveled
all.
at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the Bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place.
Oh, you're
living through
joking.
live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken,
Ah,
this one
flamingos.
was surely the best.
Ah, yellow bird.
Stanley was happy.
Penguins. Ah. Oh. Well, we're back here, aren't we? Of course we are.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. The good old Bucket.
Good old
Just
Bucket.
Stanley and the Bucket, off on another thrilling adventure together.
Mate, there's got to be a different way. There's got to be something else.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his
Let's
chair.
go back this way.
was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Oh, what was it on the meeting room? 416 as well, wasn't it? Oh, can we get back that way?
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the
Going
door on
the
his
wrong way.
left.
Been that
to
way a
go
few
back to the
times.
meeting room.
Will it let me back through this way if I come back this way? Do not lie. If you are lying right now, stop. Right, no, let's go back this way. Let's go here.
And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Nah, me and the bucket are going down. So what? We don't know.
Oh, good Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Yes!
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we
Bucket was
care
that?
about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've
People
never seen
come
before.
to see the bucket.
Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it.
No,
Don't you want another story involving the adventure line?
No.
We could make the adventure line go somewhere new.
Back
Yes,
in the closet.
yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
in the broom cupboard with the bucket. Oh, he's taking the car away. Okay, let's follow the line, as that is my only option.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Yes. Oh. Following the line, following the line. Following the line, following the line. Getting on lines, getting on lines.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
That's true.
It's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
I'm not giving up the bucket, mate, if that's what you're playing at. I'll just not play this game. The bucket is this game. The game is the bucket. Oh, this looks a bit eerie. What's going on here? Why is this hallway so tall? Oh, what's that glowing red thing? That's never good.
We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character.
Oh.
This is the Bucket Destroyer.
No! No! No!
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me, it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
That's quite big for just to destroy a bucket. I mean, you could probably just kick the shit out of it.
Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket.
I don't want to.
Pop it into the machine when
Can I jump off the edge instead? Can I kill myself rather than kill the bucket?
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley
I'm not destroying the bucket,
characters?
mate. This thing
Well,
can kill us all.
If you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans want to see the bucket.
Yes! Uh-oh. What have I done?
Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here.
Yeah, see you later, Bucket Destroyer.
You were magnificent.
Nobody wants to see you. People want to see the bucket. I mean, why would you give me 2 stickers for the bucket if you want to destroy it? And that's it. Back again. 416. Right, we're keeping our eyes out for 416.
Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
Oh. Oh, the bucket.
Where are we going today, the bucket?
Yes!
Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
It said 416, didn't it, though? It did.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Let me go down the exact
This
same
was
route I
not
went
the
last
correct
time
way
and
to
see
the
what
meeting
happens.
room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
I'm going to go down the exact
And here
same
it
route.
was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the No, never mind.
No.
The bucket was wrong.
What's it going to
Stanley
take me?
took the
Where's it
door on
going
his
to take me?
left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
What's it going to do? What's it going to do? Where's it going to go? Where's it going to go? Where are we going to go?
Oh, good Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here.
Oh,
I
no.
knew you'd find this place
Oh
eventually.
no, it's just the same loop. Why have I done this?
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because
No,
we
what
care
have I
about
done?
you
I
very
didn't expect
much.
it to be the same.
It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you
Maybe
want
we
another
should destroy
story
the bucket.
involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, that's what...
Oh!
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Yeah. Bang. Pow. Ooh. I just don't believe it's the only option. There's got to be a new option.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all
It's got
about.
to be. It can't be
Don't
just the
you
same
remember
thing
all
again,
those
can
great
it?
jokes from the original
Something
dialogue?
different.
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
That's also true again.
It's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up. Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
Right.
I think it'll make a wonderful
it's
new
time.
addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable.
I have a
True,
strong
it also
feeling
was
this is
in
not the
original
last
game,
and
but
see
it's
the
such a
bucket.
well fleshed out character with so much personality that to me it
Oh,
already
I don't want
feels
to
as though
destroy
it's
it,
been
though.
part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Bucket. We've had such a good time, but I feel like for the good of the game, for the next
Now
step.
listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy
It won't
your
let me
bucket.
give it the
Destroying
bucket.
buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait.
Oh, thank God, it won't
I can
actually
hear
let
you
me
say,
give it the
how does
bucket.
a character with only one
Yes.
personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to
Right,
really
so it won't let me give
explore
it the bucket.
Destroyer,
Fantastic.
you would
It
see
will
that
keep the
its
bucket
desire to
forever.
crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that
Yes,
it's really
this
like
bucket is
10
too full up with
personality
love
traits.
to give it
What
to anyone.
other
I want to
object
get down
in this
there.
game can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket.
It won't let
Quickly
me.
now. The fans
I
are
tried.
waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
Bucket is over.
The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Yeah. R.I.P. Bucket Destroyer. Oh. Now this. This is new.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Why is there paper
Stanley
all over the
decided
floor
to go to
everywhere?
the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What is going on now? Oh, the bucket.
A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction.
And then the paper runs dry.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Right, we're going back to the left. See, it said somewhere about people at 416, didn't it? It was on this. It was on this. Wait a second. Yeah, look, follow clues provided by employee 416. But we couldn't get in his room. What about in the broom closet?
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers.
Give me
If I
more
did,
stickers!
You can guarantee we'd be in here for hours.
Yes!
But alas, no stickers.
Come on. One more. One more. Come on. Please? Well, no more stickers. We're going to talk again on a leave. Where do I go now? Where do we go
Coming
from
to a
here?
staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Right, I'm going upstairs one more time.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed
Mate, there's
by
got to
fate,
be a
Stanley
correct
guessed
way
the
of doing
correct code
something.
by sheer
There's
luck.
got to be something
Was it
else
the
to
bucket
unlock.
knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Right, yeah. Let's go down. We're going, we're on our way. Right, sorry, my dog's scratching at the door to come in and let him in, and then he wants to go straight back out again. Stupid Hector.
Stanley and the bucket
Oh,
walked straight ahead
no.
through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Let's escape. Let's get out of here, Bucket.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
I don't believe you. We're off. We're out
The
of
door
here.
behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
No, we're getting out of here.
At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
No, not me. I'm straight out of this door. Oh, what have I done? What have I done? No. It's going to fall to my death now, aren't I? Oh. What is this? Oh.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be.
No, that's
To be sure,
that's
it
not
puts
true.
the mind and the soul at ease
I'd
to
rather,
embrace the
I'd rather
bucket.
end
But
with
what
the
use
bucket.
is a sense of ease when
Oh,
you're
yeah, I
about
can
to be
crouch,
crushed
can't
to
I?
death?
Can I?
This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere.
Oh,
Farewell, Stanley.
bye, cruel world. Oh, oh.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led
Who's this
helplessly
woman?
into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was
No,
crushed violently to death.
not my poor bucket. Oh. I mean, only one way to go. Stanley
It
Parable.
was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true
What's
that all
happened?
buckets are radiant in their own way,
Why are
but
they
this
trying to
one
destroy
stood
my
above
bucket?
the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
No, is this... Are we in heaven? The grand exhibit. Much like the bucket itself, the human mind is frequently empty within. Wow.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own?
What a
Can you see
mighty
the
bucket.
hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will
Bucket
ever
with
be
two
in his
handles?
short life?
Yes! Me and my friends can carry the bucket together. Oh, this is nice. Oh, it's a picture. I thought it was made out of loads of buckets. That would have been cooler. Might go through here. What's through there? Can't have the shit bucket. The stress bucket. So is this like the bucket museum? Ah, the first cave drawings of a bucket. Yes. Look, the antelope feeding out the bucket. Look at this. They figured out the crack, the drip, the bucket. The water source! Yay! The bucket! The bucket is king. The bucket is God.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one.
What's through there?
It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
What's through here? The hanging bucket. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, it was nice to know you, bucket. Oh. Right. Well. We're back together, bucket. Oh.
But there is something we can do.
What can we
Something we
do?
can do together, you and
What is
I,
it?
that will right this terrible wrong.
Oh no, it was all a
Let Stanley
dream.
die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't
Oh.
reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket
Oh.
shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Oh. Dear. Oh, bucket. Well, that didn't go very well, did it? That did not go to plan at all.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I feel like we're going around in a bit of a bucket loop.
Ah, the embrace of an old friend. A weathered companionship that stands the test of time.
Yeah, that's right. Me and this bucket of long life friends. I don't remember this corridor. I don't remember this corridor. Something's changed. It's definitely changed. Something's changed. Oh, has it? What? Was it always like this? Was it?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Where do we go from here? I'm going right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never
No,
mind.
it wasn't. How about we go left and then we go straight through?
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
And then this leads me back to the door on the left, isn't it? Yeah, that's literally all I've done. It's gone round. See, it doesn't say anything now when I come in here. Maybe I have to find all of these and then something else will change. A large room, lots of boxes, somewhere both red and blue. I feel like I've gone the wrong way for both of them. I feel like the large room with boxes is the warehouse. I'm going down this time.
Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
I'm going down into the infinite loop. Fuck it.
But
Something's
Stanley
got to
just
change.
didn't do it. He
Something's
considered
got
the
to
possibility
change.
of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that.
Got to take me somewhere.
And in such a competitive
no.
economy, why had he
We're
taken
in the
that
loop.
risk?
We're in the
All
loop.
because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket.
No.
The bucket returned his gaze,
Never.
but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me.
How did this car get in
difficult
here?
times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort.
No
And that's
bucket.
when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket.
What?
It's just a normal, everyday bucket.
But this has got my
Someone else's
stickers on
bucket,
it.
perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows
Where's
what
my
sorts
bucket
of
gone?
bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground.
Oh.
Gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley!
Where are you, bucket?
The bucket!
Where are you,
But it truly-
bucket?
He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were
Oh.
his special bucket.
Where's
Come
my
to me,
bucket?
Stanley! Find me!
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then
No,
suddenly,
my
he
bucket.
was dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all
Oh,
along.
my bucket. My
It was
poor innocent
incredibly
bucket.
painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Oh.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Oh no, not this biatch.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work.
Nah.
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
Yeah,
Right
dead
away,
because she stole my
knew what
bucket.
the problem was. This man had no bucket.
That is
Of
exactly the
course he'd
problem.
gone
That is the
mad,
biggest problem
ranting
any
and
man
raving
can
about
have.
a
No
narrator
bucket.
describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him.
I lost
Perhaps
it.
he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place.
No.
How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought.
My
And she
bucket.
hugged her own bucket even tighter.
Yeah, I wish I
But
could
of
hug my
course, she
bucket.
had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity.
I mean, of course. I mean,
Heck
buckets are
yes, she
filled
thought
with
to
love.
herself. My life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Backflipped. Yeah. Crikey. Oh, for